Hi guys, my name is Courtland and I'm an artist based in Texas. I love making stationery, stickers, and just playing around and having fun drawing. I've never posted on YouTube before. This is going to be my first ever YouTube video, and I'm going to be trying out some new art supplies and starting a new sketchbook today. So of course, the first thing I had to do was decorate my sketchbook with all of the stickers from my insanely sized sticker collection. And what you're seeing on that table is not all of my stickers, which is a little embarrassing to admit, but I love stickers. I have a sticker addiction. I will be sure to link all of the artists for all the stickers I used on my sketchbook down below if you guys are interested. So the sketchbook I bought is a Talens art creation sketchbook. It is in the size 4.7 by 4.7 inches or 12 by 12 centimeters. I chose such a small sketchbook because I'm coming back from not doing a lot of traditional art, and I have a history of being very bad about actually completing and filling out my sketchbook, and I want to change that. I think the best way to change that habit is by starting slow. It'll be way less daunting for me to fill out a tiny sketchbook versus a really big sketchbook. So when I saw this little guy, I was like, this is gonna be perfect for me right now. It's been a while since I've really dove into traditional art. I've been doing a lot of art on my iPad recently, but I've really been missing something about the connection between me and the paper, and just I feel like I feel a little bit more free, I guess you could say. And I think a lot of my best ideas come from me working and diving into my sketchbook. And I've been in a bit of a rut lately. If you follow me on Instagram, you know, or Threads, you know that I've been struggling a lot with my perfectionism lately, which isn't necessarily a new issue that I've been dealing with. I've been dealing with perfectionism my entire life. I know a lot of people do, but it can be very paralyzing for me, and just really stop me from creating at all or really diving into my work. You know, I abandon a lot of my pieces. I feel like it's just not good enough. It's not going where I want it to go. This isn't what I envisioned. What is the point of me continuing to work on this? I just can't even bear to look at it anymore. And so I find that sometimes I go through these phases where that happens to me pretty often, and it leaves me feeling really down about my art, you know? I feel like I'm at my best when I draw and I'm creative and I feel free to make what I want. But whenever this perfectionism paralysis comes, it just really ruins that cycle of creativity and positivity, and it sucks. It really sucks. And I've been trying to figure out how to nip it in the butt, I guess. A few months ago, I got a really bad spurt of this perfectionism, and this is back when I first starting getting into my art business. I had my first market, and I was trying to make products, and I just couldn't make any products. I wasn't liking anything I was making. Everything was taking forever. I just kept starting everything over, and I wasn't getting anything done. My style has changed a lot, or I guess it hasn't really changed, but I decided to try to take a more simple approach to my drawings and not let myself follow these visions of perfect, beautiful paintings in my head, right? Because now I'm doing these more cartoon characters, these more stylized drawings, and it was freeing for a long time, and it still is freeing. I love my doodles. I love them, and I'm starting to feel more confident in my doodling skills because I felt like I was a bad doodler before. But I still have the urge to create a lot of painterly stuff. It was freeing, but at the same time, I was avoiding my old style because I knew that's what brought me the most perfectionism, instead of facing the issue head on and figuring out how to fix it. And it's hard because it's hard to approach. I feel like every time I approach drawing or painting something like that, I feel paralyzed. So I'm gonna take a different approach today, and I'm trying out these Shuttle art acrylic markers. I'm gonna try something new and just let myself have fun with it and try not to be too hard on myself. So for the first page, I've never really finished a opening sketchbook page before. I usually just skip it. It's super duper daunting to me. I don't know how many other people are like this, but I just kind of like skip the whole page and don't come back to it ever, even though I have intentions. Well, I don't even know if I have intentions, but I want to come back to it. I want to have a cool welcome page to my sketchbook, but that never really ends up happening. But today I decided I wanted to actually go through with that. So I thought it'd be cute to draw the tint from Animal Crossing that you start with. And at the end of the sketchbook, I want to have an Animal Crossing house, like a full-blown house, kind of symbolizing like the start and end of my sketchbook and slowly building up, if that makes sense. I thought that'd be a pretty cool idea. And for the little text bubble, I decided to draw it on a separate piece of paper and glue it on, mostly because I didn't plan it very well. I could have planned it into the drawing, but oh well. So yeah, that's what I did for my first page. I really enjoyed using the markers, but it's kind of hard to get used to, like blending and all of that kind of stuff. They don't blend amazingly as like, you know, like normal paint, obviously. I can't really control the amount of paint coming out of the marker, and you know, it dries pretty quickly. But I still enjoyed using the marker, and you still can kind of get a good blend. I feel like if you want like a good gradient, to be good to layer other materials on top. But at this point, I was just wanting to try using the markers by themselves. I didn't feel like doing a bunch of layering, and this is what it ended up looking like. Moving on to my next page, I wanted to do a full spread, which is another thing I don't really ever do. I never really do a full spread. My old sketchbook was huge. I think it was like literally a 12 by 12 square sketchbook. You wouldn't catch me dead doing a full spread in that sketchbook, let alone colored, fully drawn, everything. I just wasn't like that. I want to become more like that. I want to finish more of my art. I don't want to abandon all of my pieces because I feel like they're not good enough, because no art's perfect. And I'm really trying to get over this idea of perfectionism. So I'm trying to hold myself accountable here. I decided I wanted to draw some pretty ladies. I love drawing pretty ladies. That's something I haven't done in a while since I stopped drawing my other style. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I was a little bit worried because I had a lot of trouble blending and using the markers on the first page, so I wasn't really sure how it was gonna go on this spread, where I was gonna be drawing like way more realistic subject matter. Not to say these are realistic drawings, just less cartoony. I was a little nervous, but I pushed through, and actually I ended up being decently happy with how it turned out for, you know, my skill level and for how scared I was. It wasn't that bad, and I became excited to keep drawing and filling out the whole spread, which was like new. I don't think I've felt that way before. I did have a lot of fun drawing them. On the first woman I drew, I didn't really know how to approach, I guess, the shading. I didn't know like what colors to start. I didn't know where to start. But after the first one I drew, I kind of was like, I should try painting the dark colors first and working my way to light color, just so I'm not like going back and forth the whole drawing. And I think that technique ended up working a lot better for me. And I think the second one turned out way better than the first one. I was a little scared at the beginning there. I went through a little ugly phase, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if this one's gonna look very good. But it ended up, I think, being my favorite one on the page, the middle one. For all of them, I did I guess it's not an underpainting because it's not paint, but technically speaking, and quote unquote underpainting, I just took my orange mild liner and I colored under all of them, just because I kind of wanted some way to keep the colors super cohesive. An attempt at that. I think it helped. I had fun blocking in the shape, so I would do it again personally. I think the reason why I did that is because I think it's Chris Hong Art on YouTube. She had a video where she was, I think she was just using alcohol marker, but she did a base of orange mild liner, and it made me really want to try it. And I did try it, and that was like a long time ago, but now I'm trying it again on this sketchbook spread. My last drawing, I just wanted to dive into a face instead of doing, I was about to say whole body. That's not a whole body drawing. I just wanted to focus on just a face. So I did do that. I ended up kind of regretting and going over with the black at the end. I wasn't feeling it as much as I was on the other drawings, but I still was really happy with how the last one turned out. I found it really fun going around all of them and color blocking behind them, and then doing like patterns in the background. I had a lot of fun. Overall, I love color. I had a lot of fun blocking out these colors and making colorful drawings with these markers. These markers, I do not regret buying them one bit. I have Posca markers, so I do technically have acrylic markers, but Posca markers are very limited, at least the set I have, very limited color-wise, and I can't get a lot of line variation because I have very I don't have a super broad tip, but it's like a pretty decently sized little nib, and it's really hard to get good variation with the line work. It was mostly the colors though. The colors were what really turned me off from using them all the time. I knew that having these markers would kind of help me, I guess, get more ideas down. Anyways, this is what the finished spread ended up looking like. I'm very happy with it, and I can't wait to start on the next spread. If you guys have anything you want to see from me, let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. If you enjoy my content or my art, be sure to follow me here or on one of my other socials. If you are interested in any of my stickers or sticker sheets, my Etsy shop will be linked down below. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.